that you're here with us today. Okay. Temple Institute is an institute devoted to a story which is the center of the Jewish life. You open the book. Anybody ever open up the book, the Bible?
Yes.
I'm sure if you open it once, at least once. Okay? You open the book, you see almost every single page talks about the temple. But if we look in the history of the Jewish people, 60 years ago, the words of the book came out of the book and materialized and became reality. The Jewish people come back home. After 2,000 years, nothing compared to it in the history of mankind. After 2,000 years, the Jewish people come back to their homeland. But this is only the beginning of a process, because 20 years later, the state of Israel is facing a major catastrophe. We're a population of less than 2 million, surrounded by 400 million Muslims who are determined, devoted to destroy the state of Israel. And the feeling in Israel is that the state of Israel is coming to an end. The experiment of establishing a Jewish state failed. The feeling is it's coming to an end. But you and I, if there's no other alternative, we're facing the end of the state of Israel. But then someone from above has other plans. And within 6 days, we managed to overcome our enemies at every one of our borders and to reunite Jerusalem as the capital of the Jewish people, as the capital of the state of Israel, as the capital of God in the world.
Amen.
As was announced by that redhead shepherd 3,000 years ago, who changed the face of the world. Yes, 3,000 years ago, he changed the face. He moves from Hebron to Jerusalem. He establishes the capital of God here in Israel. If I said the beginning of the process was 60 years ago, and then it continues on 40 years ago, 20 years later, we decided the time has come for the next step in this process. The next step in this process is the establishment of the house of prayer for all nations, the house that God has commanded us, obligated us. Make me a sanctuary, and I will dwell among the people. Everything you see here in this institute today, these are not models. These are actual vessels ready to be used. We are just waiting for that phone call telling us that we have permission to build, and you will have to help us carry out. I hope. Did you eat breakfast already? Yes. Okay, good. Because some of the vessels are very heavy. You're gonna have to help me carry them. Okay? Great. And now I want to tell you something else. You are here today on a historical moment. You will be the first group in the world to see a vessel that was completed a few hours ago, during the night. The fact that the place here is dirty, people were working here tonight, all night, and we're going to see it as a surprise, something you have never seen. You will be the first group in the world to see. But before that, we're going to go in for 5 minutes to understand the concept of why the temple has played such a central role in Jewish life. What happens when a person leaves his house in the Galilee or in the Negev, and he walks, grandparents, children, and they're walking to Jerusalem? What are they coming to do? Number one, they are coming to meet God face to face with each and every one of their 5 senses. They're coming to recharge their spiritual batteries. They're going to come meet God with each and every one of the senses. So for instance, in the center of the temple stands the incense altar. Made of what? What's it made of?
Gold.
Okay, now everything in this institute looks like gold is gold, everything looks like silver is silver, everything looks like copper is copper, everything looks like plastic is not here. Well, so what is it made of? What is it made of? Cedar wood, exactly. It's made of acacia wood coated with gold. Yes, it's real gold. It's ready to be used. Every single day the priest will take 11 spices and he will put them on the altar. You can take a smell. He takes the 11 spices, he puts them on the altar, and the entire city of Jerusalem is filled with a very strong aroma. So that anybody entering Jerusalem The women in Jerusalem didn't have to use perfume. You breathe it into your lungs. So you're coming to Jerusalem to meet God. Here you are smelling the city of Jerusalem as you enter the city. Right next to the incense altar we have, what do we have? The menorah. The 7-branch menorah made of gold. Each branch consists of 3 cups. The knob and the flower. All one piece of gold. I don't know if you saw our menorah yet. Have you seen it? On the stairs to the western wall? Okay. On top of this comes the candle. Every single day the priest will take out the candle. He will light. He will fill it with oil. He will clean out the old oil. He will remove the old wick. And he will refill it with oil. And ladies and gentlemen, the concept of the menorah is the #1 Jewish symbol throughout all of history. The Jewish symbol way before the Magen David is the menorah. And why is that? We celebrate the Jewish holiday called Hanukkah. The menorah. What is Hanukkah? We celebrate in the darkest week of the year. 8 days. What do we celebrate? The festival of light. We put menorahs on our windows, on our doors, and we tell the entire world, no matter how dark the darkness is, no matter how difficult the obstacles are, if you connect it to the house of God, you can bring light to the entire world. So a person coming to the temple, he will smell the incense, he will see the light of the menorah, and he will hear the music of the Levitical choir. Ladies and gentlemen, the Levitical choir, 120 silver trumpets. You can take a look right behind you. Hundreds of harps, there are hundreds of lyres, 9 harps. These are all, the music could be heard all over Jerusalem. So you're coming to Jerusalem, you hear the music, you see the light. This gentleman over here is King Solomon for right now. He has the altar of the first temple, and if you take a look at this tiny little picture over here, we can see the altar of the second temple. This is not the incense altar. This is the stone altar. This is the altar where a person who wants to bring something to God will bring it. Just if I want to give this young lady something. Do you know this lady? Yes. Could you? Her name is Alexandra. Could you please point to Alexandra? Point to her. Point. Point to her. No, not to her nose. Point to Alexandra. Not to her arm. Point to Alexandra. No, point to Alexandra. Where's Alexandra? No, this is not Alexandra. This is Alexandra's body. Where's Alexandra? Oh, okay. I have a special news for you. We cannot see Alexandra. She's invisible. We can only, God gave her a present. She gave her a body, which we can refer to. So if I want to give her something, I put it in her hand, but it's not that I want to give it to her hand. I want to give it to Alexandra. Of course, God doesn't have a body. But if I want to give something to God, I put it on the altar. So for instance, tomorrow we are beginning the holiday of Sukkot, tabernacles, right? On Sukkot we pour water on the altar. Why do we pour water on the altar? Because Sukkot is the beginning of the rainy season. In Israel, rain is a matter of life and death. We don't have millions of rivers. We have God's water. Pouring water on the altar is giving water to God and say, please bless this year. Should be a fruitful year. A year blessed with. If we come in the summer to the temple, what do? We bring the first fruits. Where do we bring the first fruits? To the altar. What is fruit for? It's an acknowledgement. Everything I have is a present from God. So coming to the temple, bringing to the altar, is bringing something to God. A person who wants to express his love to God. He wants to express the fact that he is a servant of God. He is a faithful person. He is a faithful person like Abraham. He will bring something to the altar. And the smoke on the altar connects earth to heaven. The smoke goes straight up, no matter how strong the wind is. The smoke always goes straight up.